So we wanted to give you guys a rundown of rigging our 3.5-inch skipper toe junior on a single EWG. So particularly for this one, we're going to be using a 4/0 EWG. We feel like that's about right for the size. Between 3 and 4/0 will pair up perfectly on this. And you particularly want a good gap as well here. This happens to be a 4/0 BKK Titan Rider. They have them at Copper State Tackle. They are excellent hooks that give you a lot of gap here for that frog to move down and out of the way, due to the nature of it, having some thicker plastic here, and then increasing your hook set. So that's the first element here, is the hook. Moving into how we'd rig that, what we prefer is you want a screw lock of some sort. This hook has one. If you were to just fish a standard EWG without the screw lock, you're going to tear up more of these baits, and you'll find that in the head. So we prefer going and getting the screw lock. That way you can get all this bite on the hook in the head. And the way you'll rig that is you'll just center the tip of that right into the head here, and then you just screw down and continually press and screw, and you want to push and screw like that till you get that thing nice and tight. And you want that all the way paired up to the tip. See how this is right, the tip of the nose is right near the eyelet? That's important. It needs to be right butted up against that. That gives you the most bite in the plastic, as you can see. So that's important. So then what we have is the actual, then just rigging it up here and putting it through the hook, penetrating the hook through. You want this to be, from here, you want this to be, obviously we have that hook slot, which makes it easy, but you want to go then, and as you bring this hook all the way to the back here, right, you're then just going to take it parallel like this, so that it's literally that's basically parallel with the shank here. The body is parallel, and then you're vertically piercing through the top, pushing and coming out. And when you do that, it'll ride perfect and flat, and that's important for the action. You want this thing flat across the top. But say you're doing your open water fishing, just leave it like this. That way there's less plastic to push away to get the hook set, and the penetration just will be better overall. So say you're going to go weedless though, you're going to go then and just push up on the back, then push up on the front, pierce that in like so, and you are good. You're now weedless. And that is a perfect application there then for throwing around brush, logs, any kind of heavy cover. And when you throw it this way, this sucker will run a lot better. It'll run straight, it'll run perfectly. And remember, when you do cast this out, and say it's coming back, sometimes they do flip over and they come back, they keel wrong. What you do is wait 3 to 5 seconds. As it hits the water, it'll keel back over correctly, it'll self-keel, and then begin the retrieve. So let that fall down. Say it's falling into the water and it goes this way. We'll wait 3 to 5 seconds, begin the retrieve, because as it falls, it will self-right, and then as you begin the retrieve, you'll bring it back up. And that's the way you want to do that. So in terms of the rod and reel, you're going to want a 6'6" to 7 foot medium heavy action rod with some backbone, so that you can penetrate and get those fish out of the cover if you're fishing cover. We particularly here are showing, this is a BFS setup we have. This is like, I think, a 7.2 BFS reel with 20-pound braid. So 20-pound braid is pretty light for this thing, but we want a distance. We're fishing open water most of the time, and we have been doing that lately on this setup. So we went down with lighter line to get further casting distance. But you may want to go 30-pound even, or higher if you're fishing around heavy cover. So then your reel is going to be a 6'2 to 7'2 gear ratio reel. And we generally as well will tighten the drag all the way down. That way you can get good hook sets and then we go and actually play the fish manually with the button instead of using the drag on the reel if it's a heavy fish. So that's how you would rig up, and that is the gear and line recommendations for a 3.5-inch skipper toad junior on a single 4/0 EWG.